Hi, Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to speak to you. So tell us what motivated you to adapt The Time Traveller's Wife.
Well, just the fact that I love the book. I mean, there's no point in adapting something you hate. Otherwise, you'll be fighting it all the time. I just love the book, and when you love something, you kind of want to explain why and how. Yeah.
I remember everyone being so obsessed with it quite a few years ago, and it just seems one of those ones that was kind of a real word of mouth, a book that everyone loved. So what do you think it is that really appeals to people?
I mean, that's a really good point. It was a word-of-mouth book. It wasn't like it got the critical acclaim. It got some, but not the critical acclaim it should have. It's kind of book that sometimes critics are a bit snobby about, despite the fact it's extraordinarily beautifully written. What is it? I think it's because despite the fantastical setting of it and the fantastical idea of it, this brilliant time travel idea, it's actually about a relationship. That's what it's about. It's not about time travel. Time travel just gets in the way, or time travel is the prism through which we see a normal, happy relationship. We don't do a lot of those in fiction. You know, happy relationships end at the altar and start again if there's a divorce or a death. We don't do the bit that we all live through, years of being perfectly happy with each other. That sort of doesn't happen, does it? But she found a way to make that interesting by reminding you that love and loss are linked to each other. Love means loss, and the time travel element never allows our heroes to forget that the end is in sight. And that's true for all of us, but they are constantly reminded of it. So I think because you can relate to it, because you can ground yourself in that relationship.
And what an incredible cast with Theo James and Rose Leslie. What was it like seeing them bring your story to life?
It was thrilling. I mean, I was astonished at how hard-working they were. Actually, you know, they're word perfect every single day for months, and they had tons of dialogue, and the sort of attention to detail, and it's quite a head scrambler, this show, remembering, well, which version of Claire are you playing today? Is it, the 16-year-old Claire? Is it the 70-year-old Claire? Is it the 38-year-old Henry? Is it the 28-year-old Henry? Who's talking to whom? When does this happen? What have I just experienced? Not just in this episode, but in an episode we haven't filmed yet. It's every time I'm writing some at the moment. Every time you start a scene, you're going, ah.
And obviously it was made into a film. Did you watch that? Was that part of the process? And what was it like perhaps having that bigger canvas? Because a novel is so difficult to squeeze into, to put on the screen at all. But at least with the series you have a bit more space.
Yes, I saw the film years ago and more recently. That wasn't particularly part of the process. The interesting thing about this was to do a television version, to treat it like television, just as the job of the movie guys was to make it. Well, it's a good movie. But, movies are different from television. And indeed, television is different from books. It's a book and indeed a movie have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And TV shows have a beginning, middle, and end once a week. It's a very different shape, very different animal, moves differently.
And what do you hope people will take away from watching it?
The desire to watch more.
Lovely to chat to you. Thanks so much. Enjoy the evening. Cheers. Thank you.